get with you, Shania. I need to interview you, Shania. Auntie Gina. Oh, Shania, you need to follow Auntie Gina. You would love her. We need to bring her to this area, Shania. She's really good. All right, listen. It's that time again, y'all. Story time. George, send me a request. Send me a request, George. I see you in the building. Tonight is about the podcast nobody listens to. Yes, yes. I'm excited. Yeah. Instagram is doing what it needs to do.
Hello.
Hey! It's your time. Your time to shine, bro.
My time to shine.
Yes. It's your time.
My time to shine.
So give you a couple of minutes to send it out and let your people know you're here. That's what I'm doing right now, too.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you for being punctual. Definitely
no problem.
A plus. Yes, thank you for being punctual.
Yeah, it took me a little something to get here, but I'm here.
Oh, my goodness. Has it been one of those kind of days?
One of those kind of days.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
It's your time, son. I want to thank you. Well, listen, I want to say welcome to you, man. I want to say welcome to everybody who has popped in and to those who are about to come back and do the replay and pop on in the room. We are excited. We are excited to have you here. We are excited to continue to highlight podcasting. We did a very, very interesting segment with Deidre from Sipping Tea with Dee. That was really, really good. And it's just, it's great to speak to podcasters, you know. I'm loving the light thing you got going on there. You got the mood
Oh, thank
set.
you. Yeah, I try to set the mood and everything, you know, set up some ambiance. I didn't get a haircut, so I'm wearing a hat today. So
okay. So listen, before we get started, I just want to tell everybody this is story time. We do this and we bring people on to tell their story. Stories can be a story of healing. It can be a story of exposure. It could be a story just about whatever it is that they want to share. And in this particular instance, we are highlighting podcasters. I want you to meet this young man named George. He has a podcast called The Podcast Nobody Listens to, which I love that name. The Podcast Nobody Listens to. So before we go any further, I would like you first to just tell the people, who is George? Where are you from? A little bit about your background. Before this podcast endeavor, tell us a little bit about you.
I mean, I'm not that complex. I'm just a kid from Queens. You know, like, to be honest with you, you know, like, what got me here was the pandemic. You know, like, that's what started. Boredom, you know, sitting at home with a lot of time and a couple of dollars in my pocket. So I said, let me see if I could do this little podcasting thing. You know, I started with my cousin and a few of his friends. That didn't work out with me, so I kind of started my own thing, and here I am.
Listen, what part of Queens? What part of Queens?
South Jamaica.
South Jamaica. Jamaica Avenue, Merritt Boulevard.
That's my hood right there.
Which one?
Absolutely. All that. That's me. I rep it all.
Listen, somebody told me last week they're about to do away with the bus station, man. Now, are you still living there now?
Nah. I'm in Atlanta now. They about the bus station on Archer Avenue like that.
Yeah, they about to shut it down, man. They said that's gonna be gone. I'm like, what? To go back to New York and no
South Side.
bus
I knew I like you. Shout out to Simone. Yeah, South Side in the building. Represent. Yeah. Let me drop a for that. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely. You know, I grew up in Queens. You know, and from there I went to college, the great Morgan State University.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Did a few years there. Dropped out. Started working, taking care of my family, you know. I went back and finished, though, so that's important. You know, like, your path to greatness ain't always a direct path, but you can still get there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I love that. Now, family, children, wife, ex-wife?
I got children. I'm divorced, you know. I was married once, you know. Now I'm just in here living a single life in Atlanta, you know.
Okay, how long you been in Atlanta?
About 4 years.
Okay, you like it?
It's okay. It's gonna be good people. I got a lot of family down here, so it makes it comfortable for me.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the podcasting. So you got bored, and one day you just took interest in coming on IG, or you were already on
Well, no.
IG?
I was actually, something like what I do now is really not a traditional podcast. I go live.
Right,
I mean, it's more of a live show.
right.
Podcasts are recorded and they can be consumed, through a podcast player replay. It's not really live. I go live. What started me on that, because we was recording a podcast, I was like, nobody's listening to this. You know what I mean? Like, you look at it, like, it's so hard to gain momentum. So I seen people going live on Instagram. I was like, yo, that's a great concept right there. I could do this to bring attention to my podcast. So that's kind of got me separated from the previous podcast I was on. It was a creative disagreement. One person didn't want to do the live shows, but I was like, yo, this is that. At least people are listening to you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You throw it on Anchor, you could put on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that stuff. But to actually get it to where your podcast is actually seen is
That's
hard
right.
because, it's money involved.
That's right.
So these podcasters, they have advertising dollars. They're able to do that. So they get top billing. But the little guys, unless you're able to build a buzz for yourself, nobody's going to be listening to you. So that's how the podcast nobody listens to came up.
So let me ask you that. So you're exactly right. You are exactly right. There are some people that just go live, and then when you talk about really having a podcast, then you're talking about the recordings, you're talking about having an actual producer, you're talking about the production. It's a
Right.
production. It's a whole production, and people have to get into editing and setting a schedule for interviews and topics and all that good stuff. But
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. But you are very good at what you do. I mean, the way you come in with the sound and everything that you do, the mood. I mean, you have a very professional outlook and display of your lives.
I developed that over the course of, I think I've been doing this coming up to a year so far. I've been going live. You develop it, like you try different things, you invest in it. Like, before it was just me and my earphones, and like a headset phone. Then I went out there and I got, man, I don't know, I'm hearing something, it's crazy. Then I went out there and got, all kind of different things that I invested into, Then I bought a soundboard. Then I bought, what else did I get? Lighting and stuff like that. Just invested in my craft slowly to, make a better product because, like you notice that you start thinking about presentation. Then I had to start developing myself. I used to argue with people. Then I started saying, nah, it's not worth it. We're going to have a conversation. And that's just, improving along the way, making your product better. That's how it is, Like once you learn, you start into something, you start on the journey and you start getting better at it. That's pretty much what happened with me.
And you set yourself apart when you got that soundboard. I have to tell you, when you got soundboard, you set yourself apart. I love the way you have the applause and all the sounds when people come in and how you interject that in. That is not only just creative, but it is very, very exciting, and it's entertaining at the same time. So kudos to you. Where'd you get that idea from?
I've seen people, mainly the first person I seen with it was the Gossiping Heifers. They had it, and then from that, I went and bought one, you know what I mean? Because I was like, wow, like that's definitely a different creative aspect. You borrow from people, you look around and see what they got going on, and you just add your spin to it. So once I got the soundboard, I was like, okay, I can add sound effects, Then from the sound effects, it went to something else, and plus your audio sounds better. It's a total improvement all the way around.
And you got the microphone, too. I know I saw you with the microphone.
Yeah. First, I started with the microphone. The mic was the first thing. And then I added other stuff while I went with it.
So when you started investing in all that, did you then sit back and say, okay, now what do I want to focus on? Did you take it to a point where you said, I'm going to be responsible for having a certain type of angle like social impact, being an inspiration, giving back, entertaining, strictly business. What was your goal then once you began to do all that?
Well, you know, like along the way when I first started, it was, you know, I was talking about relationships a lot. And then, you know, like I started seeing that, hey, you know, I need to talk about things. I'm a grown man. I got gray hair in my beard. Like, you know, you got to move a certain way. You got to present yourself differently. You know what I mean? That's what I started to do. And so I looked at it, and from there I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about things that interested me as a black man. You know, giving a voice to black men, and also talk about things that I agree with. Like, for example, you know, I did a big show about gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's funny, like I did that show, and then a week later, you know, we go through what we did in Buffalo
Texas.
and in
Yes.
Texas. So,
Yes.
you know, you got to talk about social reforms. You know, I talk about voting. I tell young men, you know, instead of dating, find your purpose. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I try to teach things that the mistakes I made in my life. Don't follow my steps. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you know better, you do better. Well, I'm telling you how to
Yes.
do better. So that's what I started to do.
Yes. And I want to thank you so much. The young man said it. He said, we definitely need a voice. And you are a positive influence, because what people don't realize is when we take on these roles as podcasters or individuals who go live,
Mm-hmm.
we do begin to have influence. And some have
Absolutely.
bigger influence than others. So we do have to have some type of social responsibility on our mind, because there are people who look forward to it. There are people who get inspired by what we do. We get inboxes of people telling us, wow, thank you so much for that topic. It really
Right.
helped me. And a lot of people don't realize that that goes on behind the scenes, So let me ask you something. So now that you've been doing this, what would you like to see different out here in, let's just talk about Instagram, since most of this is about Instagram. What would you like to see different in the live or podcast arena as far as what's taking place? What would you like to see different than what's going on now, since so many people are
Mainly,
using it?
well, mainly what I would like to see different in my idea is more peaceful conversations about things. You know, like, because it seems like we get into arguments with each other, and they get messy, and they get to a point where people are threatening each other. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. You know, they get to the point where they're threatening each other, and it's like, it's not solving anything, you know, like, so I'm looking at it like, you know, talking about solution based on the issues you're talking about, but have a peaceful conversation, and you don't have to disagree. If you don't agree with somebody, you don't have to fight them. You know, that's one thing that really upsets me, is that, like, I'm tired of hearing people, you know, always fighting when it's a disagreement. Why does it have to be like that? You know, everybody's an adult, you know, like, and then, like, you got to look at it like this. We always complain about, oh, the youth are doing this, the youth are doing that. But what example are we seeing them? You know, I'm showing them, if we are in our 40s, if we're in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, and we're acting like kids in their 20s, that doesn't make any sense. You know, like, we have to do
Something just happened. I heard a lot of static. Something just happened.
Yeah, I heard static too. I was trying to fix it. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I hear it now. I didn't hear it before, but I hear it now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna repeat myself. What it was I was saying is that we all have to set an example for the.
So hold on a minute. What can you do about that static? Because it's just like the static just overtook you. I don't know. Did you change headsets or something?
No, I didn't change anything. You know,
yeah, because somebody else said sound. I hear it.
Hold on a second. Let me leave out and I'll come back in. Maybe that's
okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. So it is very, very important that when we have these lives, that we want to make sure that the sound is clear so that you can hear, because what he was saying was very, very key and important. And I can tell that George is really serious about wanting to make a difference out here when he comes live, because most of his lives are very intentional, they're very informative, and I salute all the people who engage in conversations on his lives when I come on there. They're educated, well spoken, and that's what it's all about. To see these young men out here doing that is really, really great. So yeah, he is serious, JB Cook. He is serious. And I thank you so much for engaging. I'm sure you're probably one of his followers, because I don't think I've ever seen you before. So thank you so much for engaging. We appreciate that. And we know that George takes it to heart. And so that's why I wanted to interview him. When I told him, I said, what you doing, man? You're doing a beautiful thing. So hopefully you just accepted it. Okay, yeah, say something. I didn't hear you say something. Don't hear nothing. Did you say something? Now I hear you. Now I hear you.
Can you hear me?
So, yes, yes.
All right.
Can you
I'm
hear me?
sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my device.
Listen,
Yeah.
that's technology. We know we out here on the internet, so that's
Yeah,
to be
that's
expected.
that's the
You don't have
things
to
you deal with
apologize.
as a podcaster.
Yes,
You know, like
indeed. Yes, indeed.
we are our own producers. We are our own tech support. You know, we are creative. You know, what I mean, camera editors, everything. You know, it's a one stop shop. We wear so many hats. You know what I mean, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. We
Now,
go through these hiccups sometimes.
so let me ask you something. You did go to, college. Did you take up radio broadcasting or journalism or anything like that?
Marketing.
Marketing. So
Hmm.
that's where you had the keen insight about the soundboard and all that because you understand marketing strategies and that's why you implemented that. Okay, that makes
Well,
sense. That
no,
makes
no,
sense.
no, no, that wasn't it. It just it was like, wow, you saw the presentation. You know, like you look at like Kevin Samuels, he had a soundboard. You know what I mean? Who else? There's this other guy, Jamaican dude. I forget his name, but I watch him. He goes live and everything. He has a soundboard. What's up, cousin? Um, you know, a lot of people have soundboards. So you look at it and you listen to the presentation. You're like, wow. You know what I mean? You got sound effects. You know, like for example, it's so much things you can do with it that it makes the process so much better. The lighting I took from Fat Man School. You know, he was talking about it. He was going live. Then one day he had the color background and everything, and he was like, "Yo, I got it from this dude." I went and watched the videos, and I was like, "Okay," and I invested in it. You know what I mean? So
Excellent.
like, yeah. So you know, like you watch people, you learn, and you borrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about making a better presentation so that people want to watch you and say, "Oh, okay, I see. This is a different, you know, a different. This
It's
guy
a
is
way about
serious
doing it.
with it." Yeah,
But
you see, you're serious with it because people investing money in something, they're serious. You know what I mean?
and it's good. And it's good because you gave credit. See, here's the thing, people. If you're going to do something, if you're going to borrow something or you're going to pick it back off of something else you see somebody do, it's okay. They don't have a right to it or nothing. And what the good thing is that you gave him credit. You said that, you know what, I'm going to give credit to these individuals because I saw them do it first. And actually, sometimes as a courtesy, you might even hit them up and say, hey, look, I like what you're doing, man. I think I'm going to do that. As a
Right.
courtesy, that's a good thing. So I like the fact that you gave them credit. You know,
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
common courtesy. Common courtesy.
Absolutely, you give props. You know what I mean? Like you know, like you develop your creative style from watching different people. You know, like I grew up in New York, so there was so much journalism in New York is ridiculous. You know, like I
Right.
grew up listening. I had Funk Master Flex, Angie Martinez, Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, Ralph McDaniels. You know what I mean? Video Music Box. You know, Tuffy was on there. Like Red Alert, Mr. Magic. You know, Marley Marl. Like so, I've been listening to radio for over like 20,
Right.
30 years. So,
Right.
like, you understand what goes into it, and like, there's a presentation that needs to be.
Come
Wendy
on
Williams
now.
also. So,
Just Frankie. Come on.
Frankie
WBLS.
Crocker, the chief rocker, Frankie Crocker. My bad. Shout out
WBLS.
to
Come
Frankie
on
Crocker.
now.
You know what I mean? So,
Yes.
like, those are the things that you do, and you use that to develop yourself a better product. You know, so
So
that's
let me
what's
ask you
going.
this. Let me ask you
Yeah.
this. Another thing that you did that I thought was very, very impressive, and I had experienced something, so I really loved it. One
Hmm.
of the times you contacted me because you were going to speak to somebody that was on my live, and you
Right.
said, "Hey, Crystal, I wanted to reach out to you, and make sure it was okay that I contact this person." And I thought that was like amazing because number one, we as hosts of these live, the podcasters, the presenters, or whatever you want to call us, we don't
Hmm.
have no ownership rights to individuals. We're not managing nobody. We don't have exclusivity to people. But sometimes people kind of get territorial and feel like if if you see somebody somewhere that they're their people. So I appreciate it when you did that, and
But
I think it's important that people understand that there are there are not many boundaries that are crossed. A person has the right to speak to who they want to speak to out here, and
no,
unless
absolutely they do.
unless it is a situation where it is a contractual or it is just it's obvious that you might want to consent with that person first. You'll know when it's that time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I look
So
at it like this: if someone is on there and they did a show with you, and if I want to do a show with them, or they reach out to me to do a show with me, I'm gonna say, well, let me speak to that person first because they just did this. Like, like I understand you on your promo run, and that's fine. But as a common courtesy, because we're, like, it's not like we're major media markets out here. Like, our guests and our concepts are our competitive edge. So I felt like it's only right before I do something like that to have that conversation from a
yes,
respect. You know what I mean?
and I just want to say thank you for that because that was huge. That's when I knew. I said he's a gentleman too. So when you are doing your podcast and you are talking and having your topics that you select, do you avoid any particular topic? Is there anything off limits to you on your
Oh man, I've
particular station?
so much stuff. I try to stay away from politics because that could be a touchy situation. I also, you know, some sex content is not good enough.
Not good enough? What do you
Too
mean not good
vulgar.
enough?
No, 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 not good enough. I mean that I don't touch on. You know what I mean? Like I don't get into the gay and the lesbian and the transsexual stuff because I don't know nothing about that stuff, so I leave that alone. I try to stick to things I know that affects my life. So there's plenty of topics that I don't mess with.
That's good. You know what? You said something interesting. You stick to what you know. That's
Yeah,
good.
pretty
And
much.
then if we don't know, we bring in somebody who does know that's their expertise so that they can talk about it and they can elaborate and they can educate and empower people on our behalf on our platform.
Absolutely, because one of the most important things is that you want to sound educated when you're talking about something. You want to do research. You want to read up on it. You just don't want to talk about anything because if you want to give your opinion, you want to state facts. Like when people come on my show and they're saying things that's controversial or what they agree, I'm like, where is your facts? Like show me some data that supports what you are saying. If you come to me and say that black men are black bad fathers, okay, fine. Show me the data. Well, I don't have any data. Okay, so in your opinion, black men are bad fathers. Or in your
Right.
situation, you had a bad father. But don't tell me that every black man is a bad father. It's all about how you set yourself up and, like come on there with facts. If you wanna express your opinion, that's fine. I'll listen to your opinion, but don't come in there and tell your opinion is factual if you don't have no data to back it up.
Now, George, you also have a lot of strong, educated brothers that come on your platform, which is really, really, very impressive. And
Hmm.
like some of these lives out here, it's just it's silly. They're silly. It's a
Right.
lot of entertainment out here. It's a lot of entertainment. You can get some good laughs on IG for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of things out here if a person wants to get healing. A lot of people are sharing a lot of information for healing, a lot of inspirational stuff. But I love what you do because on your podcast, and if you have not followed him yet and you're coming in now or you're doing a replay, I need you to really go follow the podcast nobody listens to because you need to be listening because he's very intentional and you will leave out of there every time with some type of value. He had a structured program where he used creativity with his presentation and it's not no mess. So you definitely want to follow this young man right here. So
Thank you.
I want to ask you, are you doing a podcast? Or are you going back to doing one? I know you said you used to do
Well,
one. Are you trying to get back on like
I'm
another
I'm
platform or what?
I'm trying to do with it. The time constraints is really what stops me because like this doesn't pay my bills right now. You know what I mean? So, of course, I work. So it's got to look and see what's the energy that I want to devote to this to take it to another level. I want to do a podcast. I may want to find a host, a second host. I mean, a co-host to do it with me
Right,
because
right.
and
It,
then I got to think about structure and time to edit and put out the
yeah.
process, because what I notice is that I think what helps me and what
people who follow me and watch my show is that I do it every Tuesday no matter what. You know, I had COVID, I did it. You know what I mean? You know, if I work late, I hop on. You know, like sometimes technical difficulties might stop me, like a thunderstorm or something. After it's over, I hop on. I do my show Tuesday regardless of what's going on in my life. You know, it's like a dedication. Like I get up in the morning, go to work. I get up in the morning, come home on Tuesdays and do this show.
It's like a regular scheduled program, and you are committed to it,
right?
And you are consistent, and people know that you're coming on, and that's important.
Hold on a second. Let me tell you one story, because I remember I was doing something for my daughter's mother, and so in order for me to do it for her, I had to do the show at her place, so which was not a problem. So because of a hiccup, I was an hour late, and like my phone was blowing up. People was like, "Yo, where you at? You good? Like, what's going on?" I said, "Oh, snap." Like, people really, really are paying attention. Like, that hit me personally. So I was like, yo, you know what I mean? I feel kind of obligated to come up with something new for the people who are loyal to me, that watch me, you know, that look forward to what I'm doing. You know, maybe I reach people, you know, maybe I'm the highlight of somebody's day. I think about that. You know what I mean? If it's one person and I'm doing that for them, then it's important for me to do it, because this is the journey I started on. So it's only right to see it through.
Yes, and I see some other podcasters out here, other live hosts like Vern out here. And I want to say, if there's another podcast out here, if you want to come in and you want to give George his kudos, if you have been on his live, if you have participated on his live, if you have watched his live, and it's something he has done touched you, impacted you, please take a moment, put it in the comments, or you are welcome to come up and let him know. I would love for you to give him his flowers, because sometimes, just like you said, you touched him when he didn't come, and he didn't realize how much that people were looking forward to what he does. So I want to put that out there. If you are here and you are a regular on his program and you've never really taken time to really let him know how much you value what he does, take the time to do that. I think it would really be a blessing, because sometimes that inspires the host to keep going, you know, because like you said, he's not getting paid to do this. We're not getting paid to do this. We're not monetizing it. Like, some people actually charge people to get on their program. They charge people to do an interview. You know, we don't do that. People actually, people really, really do that. They charge. And so, and it's not that we can't, because we can. You know, we can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've done enough where we have enough to do that. But because we're not thinking like that right now. So, George,
thank you for the comments. I see it. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
What is it that you see next? What's the big thing that you want to do next? Any particular project you have in your mind?
I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking about switching to a different platform. Well, the reason why is because, you know, Instagram is really limiting creators. You know,
they are.
The things you could say, the lyric, you know, like somebody reports you, they shut down your live. You play music for too long, they cut it off. And you know, there's people that I've seen. Oh, Preston. What's up, Preston?
What's up? I'll be right back.
What you gonna throw tomatoes at me, bro?
Oh no, I don't think he's gonna throw no tomatoes. Preston, thank you so much for coming over here. I know sometimes you pop in and out of my life. I feel like I'm honored to have you here. I know you following your boy, but if you have something that you want to say to him, because I know you support him, but on a serious note, if you want to tell him something, please take the time. But introduce yourself first. Tell the people who you are.
What it do? This is your boy. You know who he is. The God himself, a.k.a. Yaga, a.k.a. the true speaker. But nah, what's up? This is about George. I'm just Preston, man. Being Preston. George, actually George is like, even though he's older than me, George is more of in my eyes, or world, because I've been doing podcasts for about almost 6 years now. George is like a babe, but he showed me a lot of things and taught me too. You know, I'm always have the mindset learning like a child, so I learned things from him. He personally called me, talked to me certain things, you know, and things. So he's a good, positive brother that makes me sick too of the positivity. You know, I'm the king of the shit starter, or excuse my language, or how I say the black hours turn. That's what I'm coming in as. But he got good things, good ideas. And I told him this. This is what George failed to realize. I told him this at one point in time. He said he's gonna quit this thing. Now, you know me, less competition, more room for me. I'm a competitive person in everything I do. But I had to tell him that day when it was over there, I said, you can't stop. For some reason, this is for you. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, this is for you. I don't know what, but you can't stop. And stuff's going to happen to you. Stuff will happen for your good, too. You know what I'm saying? I told him, I don't know if he remembered that, and I told him that. And now he is coming a little bit slowly by surely. As I watch him, I see the recognition he get. Even in our little scramble last Tuesday, you got recognition big for some big time people in our eyes and our thing. So always, I told you, you might not like everything I say. You might think I'm a cuckoo, the bird, but every time I say something, I need y'all to listen to me. Anybody that's watched me rock with me, when I say something about y'all in your life, y'all need to listen to me because for some reason, I'm saying it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So I say what I hear, all that. So I told you, keep going, and you're going to see your doors open to you. That's the thing I'm going to tell you right now, even now. So you keep going. I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching you to gain stuff, and I'm watching to see how you will grow, too, because I told you that. Am I right or wrong?
Nah, you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So he got the structure is cool. The structure is great. You know, I like to freestyle on my stuff. You know what I'm saying? But he always hit my ear. If I had it, listen, honestly, if I had the money like I need to for my production company, I would have George and Mo on my team for my production team. Definitely will. I will pay them.
Yes.
I appreciate
money.
that. Thank you.
Yes.
Good money if I had it like that where I'm trying to get to, because they get in my butt. They hold no strings, which I love to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love people to tell me the truth and hold no punches, because, you know, it's for my good. It's not for to tear me down, but it's for my good. But that's what I wanted to say. You know, I'll take over the show, George. But go ahead.
Wow.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you are so right. He's definitely one. Now, tell the people, because you have a podcast, tell the people your name, when you do your podcast, and when you come on live as well.
Well, you know, okay, yeah, I do. My Honest Truth podcast, that's my baby. It's under construction due to me moving back and forth like an idiot out of cities. But I'm a babe to this IG. So I'm learning stuff for Jordan, but I'm on YouTube. So I've been doing this 4 or 5 years. I'm on YouTube. You can catch me on YouTube, Preston Touchstone. That's my name, and that's my channel. You go ahead and subscribe. You can catch me on there. It was on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. I might change some things, but that's where I'll be at for right now. And once I get everything up and running, I'll be back on YouTube, and hopefully I can put IG and YouTube together. That's that's what I'm praying for, because I love the people. I love the controversy too. So, but I need the people to come, so my YouTube people and them to merge. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That might be a good thing too, George. I'll talk to you about that, how to get on YouTube and do all that stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you don't know about it by now.
YouTube is a good place. So, Preston, I want you to contact me because I would love for you to come so we could talk about your story and everything you're doing, definitely. So thank you so much for popping in, for giving me
no problem.
Round of applause for Preston.
What's up, Mo?
Yeah.
Hey.
Now,
Hey,
young lady, I have not met you before, so I would like to see your face so you can introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
My camera isn't really working. That's why I turned it off. I don't know if you guys will be able to see me.
No.
Yeah.
You're always working.
We see you.
No,
Okay. It may
her phone is acting
malfunction
up.
and go
I know
like
this might be a
this.
little
She got that.
Oh.
She got
might
that.
be a little wrong, but this is for Mo.
She got that cricket phone.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right, salute to you.
Okay, see you later,
OG.
Preston. Thank you, Preston. Mo, would you like to say something to George, dear?
I would. I just, George, you and I talk offline all the time about this podcast and everything else, but I do want to tell you formally in front of everyone that what you do is invaluable. And you got to keep going. Not only are you a great man, a great person, what you bring to the table is very unique, and I appreciate it for one. I appreciate the efforts that you put into your show, the thought process behind it, and the uplifting that you're truly trying to bring forward. to actually put your foot forward to be the change that you want to see is what we all should be doing.
Oh man!
So for you to be out there doing it, definitely big ups to you. You should see your flowers continuously, and if there's anything I can ever do to support you, help you, build you up in any type of way, you always know. You know my phone number. You know, door's always open.
Oh man, thank you, Mo. Y'all gonna make me cry up here, man.
Oh, that's so special. Yes,
don't be doing that to me, man. You know what I mean? Thank you. That really touched me. I appreciate it. You know, like.
Yes. And I'm so happy to meet you, young lady. Where are you out of?
Thank you. I live in Tampa, Florida.
Oh, okay. JB Cook, put some clothes on, man, because I see you have a lot of comments. Put a t-shirt on.
He's a good dude. JB talks to me. You know something, like, I just want to say, like, I try to be approachable. You know, like, people I never met who watch my show, they inbox me and I have a conversation with them. You know, that's how I met and gain friendships with a lot of people on my show. And, you know, like what Preston was saying is, my motto is that there's room for everybody.
Yes.
On here. Like,
yes.
There's room for everybody. Like, people ask me, yo, what kind of mix board you got? I let people know it's the Tascam Mixcam 4. They're not putting it. That's what I use. You want to get it, go ahead. You need help setting it up, give me a call. You know what I mean? Like, because I look at it like this. There's room for everybody. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like, there's an audience for anybody. You want to say something, you want your voice heard, do it. Like, there's nothing stopping you but you. You know what I mean? Like, jump out the window, try. You know, like, but what I'll do is that, you know, especially like Preston, I'll tell him, like, look, man, this is what you need to do. This is what you can improve on from my point of view. You know what I mean? That's all it is. It's all about growth. You know what I mean? And I tell it to him, look, bro, I'm just trying to show you growth. You know what I mean? Give you the understanding of how, you know what I mean, this thing works. And let them know, like, look, man, you know, look at the demographics on Instagram. When you go on a live, you look on Instagram, majority of it is women. So,
all right.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about a topic that's sensitive to women, you can't attack them. You have to talk to them. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, have the conversation. Listen to their point of view. Don't just jump off the turnstile and just start going at them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because then you're going to start an argument. But if you have a conversation, then maybe you can make a difference, you know?
So,
like,
let me pause.
Hold on. Let me just say one thing real quick. You get more honey. You get more bees with honey than with vinegar.
Absolutely.
Yes. I just want to say this. A couple of people said they would come up to say something to you. Let me tell you something. We don't know if you don't have on no clothes. If you put on a shirt and your camera for a quick minute, if you want to say something to George, you can take a minute, 2 minutes, if you really want to say something, because I see a couple people who wrote comments about they're in the bed. If you really want to say something, follow your heart and follow your spirit.
Well, you know something? I've seen the people that do it, and they talk to me.
Okay.
They don't. They have a problem. You know something? I've had people come in there like, yo, that show sucked. I don't know what the hell you was doing last night. And I'll be like, well, you know, this is what I was trying to do. Like, okay, what could I did better? Well, you could have did this, and all right, I'll take and listen to it. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, like, it helps me develop who I am. I would, when I first started, I would have my friends listen to it and be like, don't tell me what I did good. Tell me what I did wrong. Tell me what I need to work on. You know what I mean? I need constructive criticism. I don't need praise. You know what I mean? Because, like, I know I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I don't have no training in this. I'm just going by what I feel is right to do. So, when you're working on something like that, you want to hear what you can improve on, not where you can what you're doing good at, because you kind of see that feedback. You know, you can tell when people are interacting and engaged. You know, and that's how it developed. Like, my cousin, shout out to Arts and Crafts Studio, gave me theme music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
like,
I was like, yo,
yes.
Because I was telling him, I was like, yo, you play music on Instagram, they cut you off. He was like, oh, word? Yeah. He was like, yo, don't worry about that. I got you. Sent me a list of about 17 tracks that I can use. I picked out the one I like, you know. So, you know, Harry, that was just in there, he gave me a drop. You know, he did this for me.
You are now listening to the podcast nobody listens to.
Wow.
George.
Yo.
I need you to reach out to me, my man. Whoever did that drop, reach out to me, because I'm looking to put some stuff together. I don't know who Harry is, so I'm saying.
Yeah, he's in here watching.
Yeah,
I didn't know Harry was your cousin, George.
No, Harry's not my cousin. What I'm saying is that it's two different people. What I'm saying, Harry just gave me the drop. Like, I didn't ask him for it. He just made it. He was like, yo, George, this is you.
Wow.
I made this for you. I was like,
all that love
snap,
that
thanks,
you get,
bro.
George, is indicative of who you are.
Yes.
People are so willing to come to you because they see how genuine your spirit is, that you're not, doing this just for entertainment. I personally feel that that's what separates you from the rest.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to talk about things that could change people, Yeah, Harry's my long lost cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. But nah, like that's the thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate it, and I was appreciative for it. And then he said, yo, where'd you get this track from? And I sent him some stuff, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't mind helping people, because I'm like, okay, what if I turn around and Crystal's like, I'm leaving Instagram, I got to deal with BET. I'll be like, yo, I was on her show. That kind of helped her along the way. That's dope. One of us made it. You know what I mean? We used to have that mentality. You know
That's what
I mean?
we need. That's what we need.
If he makes it, we all make it. He's going to open the door for the rest of us. Now people going to come and look and say, oh, yo, these people on Instagram may be doing something. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
That's the thing. And then she might say, you know something, George, you know something? You're creative. I
need you to come with me. I need you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
you know
right.
What I mean?
I need you to do the sound.
You see
that's
what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't have to be the one in the front. You know,
absolutely.
You know, but like, if I can, like, if I'm part of the team, it's no problem. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
One thing I don't understand is that everybody's saying, yo, I'm a boss. Yeah. Everybody can't be a boss. Somebody got to be a worker. Somebody got to be a part of the team. That doesn't mean that he's not important. I remember watching, and I take inspirational things from movie. It's crazy thing, Biker Boys. Something, the guy was the mechanic, was his stepfather, but it wasn't really his father, something like that, I forget. But he said to him, he was like, you know something, you think that I was the man. It really was him, because when he told me I'm good to go, I'm good to go. When he told me, nah, you ain't good, I ain't race, I ain't do it. So that's what I mean. There's advisors. You know what I mean? Biden's up there being the president. Obama was the president. But they had people behind them advising them. They're just important.
So let me ask you.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this question before I ask you, Mo. Do you have anything else you want to say to him? Because I got somebody else.
No, I was gonna camp down because I know there's a lot of other people that would love to speak to you, George. I just wanted to give you the flowers. That's all.
Thank you.
And it's so nice to meet you, young lady. I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I hope you will follow me. And then if you got a story, I want to say to anybody on here, if you have a story, let me know, because we could talk about it. But that's what this is all about, giving you the opportunity to share your story. All right.
Absolutely.
So, Mo, thank you so much for coming, Mo. Listen, and those who said that you don't have on clothes, there's a question box on the bottom. Whatever it is that you would have cammed up and said, if you had something that you want to say, please let me know. And I see something that Nay said here. She said that the problem is everybody wants to be on the forefront, the forefront runner. I'm trying to get it up here. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the supporting roles are just as important. That's a very, very good point. Nay is like, that supporting roles are very, very important. And I agree with what Preston said, George. If I were to do something, I am on YouTube. I have something on Roku, and I have something in the works. And I would come back for you, because you are just that guy. You are that guy that I would say, you know what, I know this young man. I wouldn't even try to do the sound, because, sometimes we try to do too much. Why not go get the guy who already had the skills and just put him on the team? You don't have to do everything. That's what it's all about.
Can I answer that question where guys said, how do you monetize podcasts? Because what it is that, podcasts are monetized, like, for example, people listen, then you can get advertisers. And advertisers pay the podcaster for influence the people to buy their products or recommending their products. That's how it works. Instagram is all about either you're making reels where you get thousands people monetize it, then people can see it, and also they'll give you badges once you get over 10,000 followers.
Yes.
You know, so that's the way. And the same thing, TikTok got 1,000 followers. Same thing with YouTube. Everything is all about
And
viewership.
Facebook.
So
Yes.
Facebook also is all about viewership. So like liking people's stuff that you mess with, like especially the small guys, is
Yes.
way important because
Yes.
to them, those likes and those comments mean a whole lot more than it does to say a Country Wayne or
Yes.
Kim Kardashian. You know, they got a following. You know, we all just trying to get our following up to the point where we can possibly monetize, and then we can take it to a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
And tell them this too. Be careful out there because there are people who will approach you to try to tell you to pay them to give you followers. And when you do that, you get caught in this trap, you know, where they'll give you a couple of numbers and then your numbers get all messed up because you got these little dummy people. And so don't get caught in that trap. I've gotten caught in that trap before.
I've gotten
sucks.
caught in that trap too.
And you know what? Once you get in that trap, it's like, man, all of a sudden your numbers go like this. Because they're playing with your numbers, because they have access to you. So they're pulling you up, then they're pulling you down, and they say, hey, for another $100,
they're manipulating you. Yep.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. That's what they try to do. They try to manipulate. They give you some followers or they give you a couple of likes and they throw up the algorithm. Because the thing about it is that these people are not in the United States. So if you're trying to market to people in the United States and 50% of your followers is in Malaysia, then
that's a problem.
Facebook is going to put all your stuff in Malaysia, and you're not getting the exposure you want at home. So
George, there's a couple people putting something in the box. Let me tell you what they're saying, because they're saying this to you. So this young lady, NWT 1993, said, I saw George once on my live, and I realized how humble he was and started following his podcast. He's an amazing person who always trying to encourage and help others. I'm blessed. Our path crossed, and I've learned a lot in a short time. Thank you so much for sharing that. Harry said George is one of the coolest brothers I've met on Instagram, and I support him 100%.
Thank you, Harry, man. Appreciate you.
You know. So back to what you're saying. I actually had an experience last week with these people that you're talking about. I had a lady to send me a request to come on live, and so I let her in, but it was actually a man masturbating. I was like, what the hell is this? So you got to be real careful about these people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I was like, what? I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy. So you have to almost know who you're dealing with out here. If you do begin to get these followers, you got to check them out, y'all. Check the people out. So thank you for sharing that stuff about the production side, because a lot of people don't know about post-production, editing, recording, all that stuff. Somebody else has another comment about you, George. Loyal TY007 says, salute King, just here trolling, Push Talk Radio.
What up, Push? If that's Push, shout out to Push. Push is a good dude, man.
Well, thank you all that have come here. I hope that you will follow me, and if you have a story, you are welcome to come back and tell your story too, because we are here to help you share your story, because everybody has a story. So, George, let me ask you something. Since you've heard all these wonderful things people are saying about you, and I know that you thought once about possibly stopping or switching to another platform, does that change your mind a little bit now to say, oh, man, I can't go, or you think if you go, they'll follow?
I'm hoping if I go, they follow, because my switch is not because I'm fed up with Instagram. It's because I want to do more.
Right.
Like, for example, I know on YouTube I can have multiple cameras because I can use a different software where I can plug different cameras and stuff like that. You know, and I can edit, and with different software, I could bring in video clips.
Like,
you know, and I can like put them in a window, like I'm doing actual news. You know, like
yes,
so it's not about me.
Yes.
It's not about me wanting fed up with Instagram. It's me wanting to give more.
Yes.
You know, give a more multimedia experience to make my production even tighter.
So would you be interested? Would you be interested? Because the more you talking, you know, like, I'm serious about that. Would you be interested if people like myself, other people wanted to utilize your service? Because you may have opened yourself up for some work, George, to help other podcasters, to other people go live, to do those things that you do. Have you thought about that?
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to put their name out there. Someone, a friend of mine who does a show, they was talking about the things they wanted to do, and I told them like, yo, this board I have will do it for you. They was like, well, you go and get one for me if I send you the money. Set it up for me. So I drove, I bought the board, I came over there and set it up for them. I still got some fine tweaking to do with them, but yo, I didn't ask for anything. They paid me.
Yeah.
They paid me because they cashed at me the money to get the board for them. So I went and did that. And then when I left, they said, hey, I gave you something. And it was way more than I expected.
And guess what? Gas is high right now.
Yeah, but you know something? I look out for friends. Like, I'm an only child. So friendships were important to me growing up. My friends became my brothers and
sisters. Hi, George.
Hey.
I'm great, thank you. How are you? Great. It's great seeing you on here. I'm always on your show. I'm always listening.
I know you are, and I appreciate you listening to me.
No, I appreciate your show. You always have positive things on there, and I really enjoy listening to you every time you come on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
So I come on here to give you your flowers, your props, and everything. Man. You are awesome.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work.
The love. Thank you.
Always.
Thank you, Queen. How you doing today?
Thank you.
I'm doing great, thank you. Crystal, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing
good. Great.
And she sent me messages also about my show, something she wanted to say. And,
yeah, she's very supportive.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't get to get on there yet, but because it was one of the topics that they were talking about, and I think that when people were saying negative things and stuff like that. So one of the things that I didn't like hearing a lot, and I keep hearing it on quite a few platforms, is people making fun of disabilities.
Right.
Yeah, we need to stop.
And I didn't appreciate that because I'm on a lot of people's podcast, your lives and stuff like that, and I'm on here to try to be positive and allow other people with disabilities see that I'm active and stuff in these things and bring up the points and stuff, because I want to encourage other people to do the same, because not everybody is willing to speak out like I am. But being that I'm on there, people have seen me and I've gotten positive feedback about, me speaking out, and, I motivated them, and even able-bodied people.
Yes, you have. You are very inspirational. If you don't know who this is, please go to the top of your screen. You'll see a drop down. This is Queen on the Rolling Throne. Queen on the Rolling Throne. And this young lady is in a wheelchair. She's an activist for disabled people, and she's a fashion model. She's been on a couple of some magazines. I've actually done an interview with her, and she is amazing. And like she said, her goal is to make sure that she gives visibility to people who may be disabled, because sometimes they're quietly depressed or they're quietly hurting, and seeing her is giving them that light. So I salute you for what you do. You keep doing what you're doing. So everybody on here, please follow her. And please follow each other, because like George said, we have to support one another. There's no competition out here. We're all out here.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
To support and to share and to inspire and to give back and to do what we do. And there's enough room for all of us, like you said. So we thank you. Thank you, Queen, for coming up. I appreciate you. I always appreciate having you on.
Okay. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, George. Take care.
All right, see you later, Queen. You have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
And so, George, so not only that, but so people would be willing to, because when I thought about it, I was like, man, I love all the stuff, the lighting, the sound, the microphone, but sometimes I don't have time and I don't want to do all that. And like I said, I'm going over to some stuff with some other platforms. And, you need a creative team. It's about teamwork. We need people that love just that. And it's a lot of work, though. You might mess around and get a gig for somebody that might take up so much time that it might pull you away from this. Maybe you could start training people. That's another way that you can make money.
Like I help people out. You know what I mean? Like something. I probably do a lot of things that I could be making money off of, but I do it for the love of friends. You know what I mean? Like somebody will inbox me, be like, yo, what's you using? I'll be like, this is what I did. This is where I bought it. Here, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, so why not? Let me see what you can do with it. You know what I mean? I might learn something off of you. You know what I mean? Like,
So
Like
what would you tell someone? What would you tell someone watching this that is getting inspired just by listening to us and saying, you know what, I want to start going live. I think I might want to do a podcast. What would you tell them to do first?
Get a good microphone. The sound is so important. Get a good microphone. Even if it's not USB, you know, like definitely the microphone is very important. Make sure you have good lighting. People use those ring lights. I don't like them because they put the light right in front of your face. There's 3-point lighting setups that you can use that are a lot better, you know, because it gives you more depth. You know what I mean? Like, because the ring light is just in your face, and so all right, your face is, and then you got the rings in your eyes that people see. But if you put them on to the corners, you know, it gives more depth, and one behind your ear, you get way more depth. You know, background is important. You can do a green screen with Instagram now. They have that option, or like I just got a LED light and I can change the color to anything I want. You know, so that's the thing. It's a whole lot of things. But first thing first, if I would want to do it, is start off cheap. I would go and get an iRig and a microphone.
What's the iRig? What's that?
An iRig is this device where it allows you to take an XLR microphone, which is a studio quality microphone, hook it up to your iPhone or any other kind of cell phone, tablet, or anything, so you can use that production quality microphone on your tablet or something like that. That right there is going to cost you maybe like $100. You know what I mean?
You see, I got my pen, y'all. I'm writing. Cause this
inbox me. I'll give you the whole. Inbox me. I'll give you my whole rundown. Yeah, it's an iRig. It's an iRig pre. It's a preamp. You know, a lot of DJs, they make a bunch of selection. I can inbox me. I'll tell you which one is to get. You know, that's where you can hit a hook, and then you know, you just use a headset. Like right now, I'm just using a real basic headset, but I got it hooked up to my board. So I like this one because it's not the big, bulky headsets on top of your head. It's a little small and simple. That way I can still move my head and have mobility, you know. And then I got the microphone, you know, that's a boom mic. You know, that's I paid like $100 for this. And, you know, but there's other, you know, there's different inputs on, you know, entry level that you can buy and start it off. But, you know, the main thing is that if you're going to do it, get a headset. And you want to start off cheap, just get the wired headset with a good microphone. That way, you know, like, because the Bluetooth is going to give you feedback. But if you got a wired headset into your device, your streaming device, you'll get better quality sound off of that.
Now, somebody put a comment in here. Loyal GY said, would you limit yourself on topics that you are willing to discuss? Are you asking George that question? Would you limit yourself on topics that you're willing to discuss? Exactly what do you mean by that, Loyal?
Well, I mean, maybe if they were listening to, like, I just talk about topics that I want. I'm going to say that I think, you know, me being in my mid-40s, you know, my experience in life just living, there's a vast amount of topics that I can talk about without going into things that I don't know. And if it's something I don't know about, I'm going to get somebody on there that can talk to it, or I'm going to do my research.
Yeah, and hot topics, like, I don't do too many hot topics. How you feel about hot topics? Because everybody does them. Like when the big thing happened with Lori Harvey, everybody was talking about it. When the slap happened, everybody was talking about it. You can find a creative edge to address something. Like I had an alopecia person come on when the big slap happened. So you can kind of stay in that realm because, you know, people are conscious about it, but try to empower the people about the relevant topic that is being discussed on the news. You know, so would you say that you're more for social impact, George? Because it sounds like to me you're more, or would you say you're more about activism, or what is your passion? What is really your passion?
My passion is the improvement of African American people worldwide. Well, I said African American, but people of color worldwide would be a better thing, especially in the United States, because I think there's a lot of things we can do better. Bringing back our communities, that's important to me. You know, rebuilding our family structure, and utilizing what wealth we do have in this country to make a better place for the generations to come.
Okay.
That's
Now,
a lot of things I like to talk about. And you said about hot topics. Yeah, I spin them. You know, I try to take an angle that I don't see people doing
yes.
and apply it. You know, do
Yes.
something like you said, the alopecia. That's dope.
Yes.
I forget what I did from Will Smith angle, but I did something about it, but I flipped it a different way.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, Push Talk Radio is asking you, what topics will you not speak about? He might have not been here when we said that earlier.
Push, you know something. It depends. Like, I don't really go into the, you know, like the sexism, like the gay and lesbian stuff. I don't really talk about in politics. You know what I mean? Like, because those are real touchy subjects to people, and I like to stay away from them because I'm not really an expert on those subjects. You know, I would love to do a sports show. You know what I mean? Like, I love talking about sports, and someone actually said I can do it, but you know, like, it's time constraints. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I like Push and the platform he's doing. You know, like, I like what he does. I like what they do. I just can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little different for me, but I salute all of them.
So Push, I have to follow.
You know, I'm a
Push
fan.
I'm
a fan of Push. You know, Push. I'm definitely a fan of him, man. I see what he's doing. I see the road. I see how he does. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely salute that brother. You know, and I like what they are doing over there.
Push, send me a request, because I got to find you and see who you are. If you have never followed me before, send me a request so I can follow you and see what you're doing. And if you have a story, I want to put the invite again. You are welcome to come and be a guest.
So what I do mainly is, you know, like, I just like talking about things I know about, you know, things that affect me in my life. You know, oh, man, like, last week I did a show about talk to me nicely, you know, because someone said to me, you're going to talk to me nicely. So I'm like, okay, what's that about? You know, I'm a man. I get aggressive sometimes when I'm talking. Doesn't mean I'm going to go upside your head. It's just testosterone that comes out. So am I wrong for doing that? Then I said, ladies, how do you feel about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I saw that show.
And then the week before that, I did one about kings and queens. Are we really kings and queens? Where's this coming from? You know what I mean? Is it just a better term of endearment for us instead of going using the N word and the B word? Or are we really royalty? And then I said, okay, is this the right word? Because if you look at the monarchies, are these really the people we want to be?
Right.
I mean? Like, I said, like, you know, something like, it's nothing wrong with, and then women told me, like, you know, I'm tired of guys calling me queens, because it's like, oh, I'm a queen when you're trying to talk to me, but then when you turn around and I don't give you my phone number, I'm a B. You know what I mean? So why I fell so far from being a queen to this? And I'm, you know, like, just have the conversation about it. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to force my opinion on anybody. Do what you want, as long as you don't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? But just think about it. Like, you know, like, because I thought of it, I ain't going to lie. Coming up in my teens, I thought black people came from Egypt. I had to do my research. No. Most of the black people in America came from the Ivory Coast, over 3,000 miles away from where Egypt are. So that's not our lineage.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
right.
You know, and that's just knowledge. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean we're not eating worse or better than those people that came up from North Africa. You know what I mean? We are resilient people. Look what everything we've been through just to be here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For generations, how we've been treated throughout the world. And I'm not going to say the United States, because you can do your research and see color has been a problem in every nation around the globe. You know, people of different colors treating different colors, ethnic backgrounds and everything like this. But when it all comes down to it, we are the same people. Like, if you peel back our skin, we have basically the same type of body structure. So why can't we just love each other? You know what I mean? Why we got to take these difficult differences? You know what I mean? Like, it's a shame that we go through so much stuff in our communities, and there's so much more we could be doing to make our communities better. You know,
you're right.
You know something? It was a time where if I got sick, the doctor was a few houses down, or maybe like the next neighborhood down. And I went there. My mom took me there, wrote him a check, got my medicine and everything right there. You know what I mean? Now everything is so commercialized and everything. And with the more money that we make of people, we're leaving our communities. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, we don't have to live in the quote-unquote hood or the ghetto.
That's
We can
right.
afford to go to the nicer side of town. But the thing about it, when we go over there, are we leaving our brothers and sisters behind? Because the thing about it is that we're not seeing that man get up every morning, go to work all the time. We're not seeing those families together. But back before the civil rights movement, they had no choice. They saw it because we were not allowed to go into those neighborhoods. So what do we do to say, hey, I could live over here, but you know something? I need to come back over here and make it better. Put some influence, put some money, sponsor a baseball team. You know what I mean? Do something for these kids. You know what I mean? Like, start tutoring programs because, you know, something, I see too many of our kids finding sports and entertainment as the way to get out when
Yes.
why not we use STEM programs and technology and stuff like this? Because if you look at everybody, yeah, LeBron James is the man, but what did the dude do who writes LeBron James checks? You know what I mean? What does he do? Oh, okay. Paul Allen owns the Timberwolves. Owns Portland Trail Blazers. He started with Microsoft. He was there with Bill Gates. Boom. He's writing checks. You know, Dan Gilbert, he has a multitude of businesses. He's writing checks. You know what I mean? David Buss, the Buss family that owns the Lakers, second generation owner Lakers. I think David Buss was in real estate investments, something like that. Sold it off, bought the Lakers, and built it up where he's making a lot of money. So like I said, and when you look at the players, the only one player who's the owner, that's Jordan. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that, yeah, why not teach our kids path that, like, look, you create something in technology that's innovative. You have enough money where you can own a team and play the players and stuff like that. But that's wealth. That's wealth that's going to feed your next generation, like five generations away. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. You're gonna be doing some speaking engagements, George, because you're gonna be doing some speak. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, you have a lot in you that you need to be given to a broader audience than this. So get ready. Somebody's going to be reaching out to you in your inbox because you're going to need to either, whether it's going into the school systems, going into a corporate office, going into a meeting setting. But yeah, you're going to be on somebody's panel because you literally have that information that is valuable and you're well spoken. So I already see it. So I just want to say kudos to you for that.
Oh, well,
ladies and gentlemen, if you've never followed podcasts nobody's listening to, and if you just tuned in, he explained where he got that name from. I really want you to make sure that you go and listen to George because this young man is very passionate about what he does. He's very humble. He's a shining light out here on Instagram. And his live that he does, and when are your lives again, George? When
Tuesdays at 8 o'clock.
Oh, Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. You will always find, and it's the podcast nobody's listening to, which I make a joke and say everybody's listening to it because when he comes on, set your notification. Set your notification because, as you can tell from hearing him today, it's going to be an intellectual conversation. It's going to be a stimulating conversation. It's going to be an empowering conversation. It's not going to be just gossip or hot topics about what's going on and what everybody's talking about. So you want to get to him. George, I want to ask you this because I know we got to get ready to get to a close. What is it that you want people to know about you other than what they know and what they hear here? What is something that people don't know about George other than what we see and hear on the podcast?
That I'm new to this. You know what I mean? Like, I have no training. I just do it for the love. I love my people. I love to live. You know, I like helping people. You know, like.
So stop saying you're new and you have no training because you're a natural.
Well,
you are a natural. So understand, some people have to go to school. Some people natural. Like you have people who go get a college degree and they're out there, and you have some people that are self-built. You are self-built, so it's okay.
You know something? You know something? You talk about public speaking. I do remember going to Morgan. They made us take a class speech. You know, so you had to go up there and structure argumentative speech, you know, all different kinds of stuff. I forget the time, but we did have to take that class. So Yeah, I guess I do have some kind of training, and you go up there and you do presentations and class and all that stuff. So, I have done some kind of public speaking before, but right now it's just about the people. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, look, man, like, in order for us to get things back in track, there's some values that we forgot that we need to bring back, and I just want to talk about them. That's all.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'm
just
not
trying to
always right.
acknowledge. I'm just trying to acknowledge some of these comments. The people, when they take time to write a comment, I think that we owe them that to at least acknowledge them because,
Oh, I agree.
they take time. So Diggs for Love, thank you so much for coming through. She says, so true, invest in generational wealth. Another young man said, okay, who writes LeBron's check is a great question, but where's the appreciation for essential workers? We literally just saw how important our teachers are. And yeah, that's great. Somebody else said
No,
sometimes
they
you
are
get in the
correct.
bottom level, I don't think he wasn't taking anything away from the essential workers. He was just bringing up some points. Said, yes, we know.
Hold on, let me touch on that. My point about that was what I was saying is that look at history. In the 80s, these kids who saw the computers took these computers and went from their parents' garage to multi-billion-dollar companies that are products are being sold worldwide. And it started in their garage. What I'm saying is that let's focus on creating technology, math, like all these things that we can do other than sports that our kids can be investing their time in. Let's develop that stuff. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'll go and see kids playing Little League, playing Pop Warner football, playing basketball. But then when I go to a STEM program, there ain't no kids in there that look like us. That stuff is important also. I remember I dated a woman who her son just graduated from high school and he got a scholarship. But when he was younger, she put him in football. Her father said, no. He's smart. Don't let him play football. Let's put him in golf. They put him in golf. You know what I mean? So, and he stopped playing golf. He got an academic scholarship. You see what I mean? But they forced him to use his mind to create and learn other than sports that could take away from like CTE, brain damage and stuff like that. And I don't got nothing against people who play football. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that not every kid is athletic.
That's right.
If you're not good at sports, don't be mad at them.
That's
Take them to the library.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
And we need to do more of that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? If you're good at sports, fine, that's cool. But if you're not, let's go to the library. Let's learn something else. Use your mind. You know what I mean? You can still play sports, but you don't got to do it all the time. Let's focus on building your brain. That's all I'm saying.
And we definitely appreciate the essential workers.
Oh, yeah,
we definitely
you know what I mean? I was an essential worker.
Yes.
And I agree, so.
So if you caught that, sometimes when you come in on a live and you come in the middle of a conversation, you might catch a piece of what somebody says and you may not really understand what they mean. So we just want you to understand that we were not downplaying any position, any roles of any kind, any workers, any careers. Yeah.
Everybody was important.
Everybody is
especially
important.
The last 2 years, and it shows.
Woo! Life, people are important. We are definitely illuminating a light of positivity, of love, of hope, of inspiration, of support. Please understand that. That is what we want. And somebody said, hi, Ray Diva. If you are just coming in here, we just want to thank you for coming in here. You're catching us on the tail end. We had a podcast that nobody listened to, Mr. George. And if you are not following him, please hit the arrow on the top and follow him. He's the man with the plan. George, let him hear some of your sounds. He's got some great sounds, man. Got the soundboard. He got some sounds, man. He has the intro. You really want to go to his show because he is the man. Like, he could teach you. If you have a podcast and you want to take it to another level, you might want to contact him. He's on Tuesdays at 8 p.m.
I got the. Oh, no.
So when somebody, okay, let me ask you this. If somebody says something and it's like off the chain, it's good, you agree with it, and it's powerful, what you going to give them? What's the sound?
If I agree with them and it's powerful?
Yes.
Oh, man, let's see. That's a good question. I might give them a...
Yeah, baby, yeah!
Or I might say...
It's cool, man. Got red bottoms on.
Oh, what about
it's good.
Thumbs down, you disagree, thumbs down, get out of here with that. What you gonna give?
Thumbs down? I got,
This is why y'all have to follow him.
What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner.
When someone says something crazy, I got...
This is America.
You know?
Woo! What about somebody coming here? It's hype. You trying to hype the crowd up. What you got for them? You trying to get the crowd hype.
When I'm trying to get the crowd hype, I usually do like I got the air.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Drop the ball.
Yeah, I got my old faithful. What I use to get people hype is my intro music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I'm telling you, this is why you have to follow him. And I'm telling you, I'm putting in a request for you. If you are looking for a way to get your live to another level, contact this man because he can help you. He can help you. George, I do want to say this. I love the fact that you're such a giver, but don't give everything away because you have a business. You can definitely there's some opportunities where there are going to be some people who don't want to do it themselves. So start writing out your prices. Start writing out what you want to offer as a service because it's coming. Okay. Because everybody don't want to do it. Some people are going to want to bring you in and hire you to do it. You understand that?
Now, if they're willing to do that, that's it. If they're doing themselves, I don't mind helping out. But if they want me to help, yeah, I will, ask for a fee.
And prepare for it online, virtually. Prepare to do an online, like a Zoom presentation. Sometimes you can save the gas. You can mail them the product that they need. Like if you tell them where to go get it, tell them how to, or if you have to buy it for them, then you set up an online training. You do an online training with them, and then you have a fee for online trainings. There's a lot of things you're going to give away. Don't get me wrong. You're going to give away a lot of things, but there are going to be levels.
Right.
So remember when you said at the beginning that, it's time consuming and you're not getting paid for this. So we are entrepreneurs too. So there's some ways for you to begin to monetize because there are business services you are providing. There is value in what you are providing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And there's definitely consultation fees that you can charge for certain things that you are doing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, yes. I never thought about it, but I will look into it. But you know something? The biggest resource somebody can ever have in this game is themselves.
Yes.
I can, you got to learn how to be creative in your space, under the circumstances that you want to do things under, whatever you want to talk about. If you want to even have fun and games and arguments and be on a different level, or you want to do sports, or you want to do tech or anything, you got to learn you got to create your creative edge. You know what I mean? I was listening to Kara's One, old school, and he was like, he said my album was raw because no one could ever think like I think or do what I do. I stole the show, then I leave without a clue. And so I was like, wow, you know what I mean? What I do, yeah, other people do it, but the way I put my twist on it and the talking points, other people may not come up with because that's part of me.
That's right.
And I can't teach that. So, but if you need equipment help or anything, definitely DM me. You know what I mean? I'd love to help people, take their stuff to the next level because I think it could be done under $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's some free services that you will provide. There's some free consultations that he will give you. But just like when you go for an attorney, you get a 30-minute free consultation. So, George, I need you to start setting up some free consultations, but there's a limit. When they get to that certain plateau, that's where the fee comes in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I might look into that. Okay.
You know. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to George. I just want to thank you so much for your
Oh, thank you for
time.
having me, Crystal.
And
I
I
appreciate
want
it.
you to, I appreciate all of the love. You know, I appreciate the support. You've been very supportive out here. And you pop in on my lives, and I thank you for that. And I try to pop in on yours. You share my stuff. You like my stuff. I thank you for that. Because, like you said, that makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
Any closing comment that you'd like to tell the people from your heart about something you have coming up, or just anything that you would like to share? Maybe you need to make a book about all this, George. I mean, you never know.
I don't know. I just want to thank people for watching. You know, I may not say it often, but thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know, I see your comments. You know, you ever want to reach out to me, send me a DM. I respond back. And just thank you, everybody. You know, I do this for y'all. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Wow. And I thank you. I want to thank you for coming through. Many people I have seen today for the first time that have never been on my page. And I hope that you found enough value in the way that I presented myself with George that you would want to come back. We do story time on Sundays at 9 p.m. and on Wednesdays at noon and at 9 p.m. Actually, this Wednesday coming up, we have insurance, some great tips about insurance. And we also have a young lady, Be Purposely Fit. We have a segment set for the rest of the month. So you definitely want to put it on your notifications if you don't have it on your notifications. And again, if you have a story, my purpose is to instill hope, you know, inspire, you know, that's my mission, and to save lives. So if you come on my page, you're going to laugh a little bit. You're going to get some information, and you're going to see me. And then, you know, I'm going to make some mistakes too, you know, so, you know, we human, like you said, George, we human out here. We just winging it, you know what I'm saying? But we have good intentions, guys. So I want to thank y'all for popping in here on this Sunday night. I want to thank you for showing George his love. And George, I'm going to send you a collaboration so that this will be on your page too. I'll send you a collaboration so this will be saved. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And George, I'm going to be contacting you because some of the stuff I can't do and I don't want to do. I have enough on my plate. My plate is full with my sister and everything. So I understand the value of hiring a person to do certain things. You know, and that's why I want to stop you, because sometimes we have such a heart to give that we give and we give, but there has to be a place where we stop and we understand it's a blessing that God gave us that gift, and the gift is there to help us to, you know, make room for it. And yeah, definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You have been to another segment of Story
Thank
Time.
y'all for watching,
I look
everybody.
forward to meeting each and every one of you. DM me if you're interested in having your story told and you want to do your interview. And George, I love you, man. Like home,
thank you.
boy, Queens, New York. Yes.
Queens,
when you going back to New York? When you going back to New York? I need to go back.
I was up there about 2 weeks ago. You know.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, my mother moved. Finally left Queens. Came back home to Georgia.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah,
I plan to go. I plan to go
from
soon.
Georgia, so
I gotta get up there, ladies and gentlemen.
So,
to all my New Yorkers, hey! You know, I'm Queens all the way, but you know, born and raised in Harlem, 125th between 1st and 2nd, then Queens, Hollis, Queens, Jamaica Avenue, and then of course Church Avenue, Brooklyn, right there, Prospect Park. So everywhere was wrong and upstate. Oh,
no,
yeah.
wrong. This is what I wanted to hit. I wanted to hit the
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing evening. We appreciate you.
Good night, everybody.
God bless. Hit the follow, and thank you for stopping through. Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good night.
You're welcome.